I need NOS. I need NOS. Neri, I need a bite tonight.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do the best mod that you can do for like less than $20 in less than 20 minutes. And we'll show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna modernize the dash cluster in this 240SX. It's pretty simple, straightforward, a couple of small hand tools, Phillips head screwdriver, 12mm wrench, and just a little bit of time, and a couple of light bulbs, and that's it. So we're gonna go from the old, boring, white light, yellowy kind of light in the back of the gauges to a nice bright blue kind of back face of the gauges. On my last 240, I had white face gauges that glowed blue through the back, but I think I'm gonna stick with the stock black look to the dash like it is now. But we're gonna go to a blue light instead of a basic light bulb in the back, and we're gonna go LED. So we're gonna show you how to do that, and I'm gonna show you right now. I kind of already half did it just to show you what a before and after side by side is gonna be, and then we'll go down through the process of how to actually do this. So let's have a look. So here's without the lights on, and we turn the lights on. You can see what it was to what it's gonna be. And we'll show you the step-by-step process on how to do that. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your Phillips head screwdriver and you're gonna remove the bolts underneath. If you can see on the bottom tray here, there's 1, 2, 3 holes, and on the other side there's 1, 2, and then there's a Phillips at the bottom there and a Phillips at the bottom over there. And you basically remove that whole bottom tray, and that'll allow you to get the cover that goes around the steering wheel and the ignition off. And then once that's off, you'll remove the gauge cluster surround, this piece here, and then you can actually remove the gauges. So let's get into it. So I already removed the surround from the steering wheel. And as you can see, there's a few bolts. So there should be a total of 6 bolts, 2 there, and 1 on either side there, and 1 on the other side at the back. And that basically is the underside from here. And then you have your top side that goes around the ignition and everything. So they're all bolted from the bottom side through those 4 bolts, and then the 2 hold it to the steering column as well. So we got that off. There's also a little cover that goes over the ignition. This here, that just pops off from there. Kind of just like that. That pops off. And then once you have that off, you can start removing this piece, but we first got to get this finished off, removing this piece. This is typically what you're going to do first, but I already had this section off, and this one's partially off. I just wanted to film this before I got any further and kind of put it back together for you so you can kind of see what it's like. So we're going to remove that screw in the back corner here, and then it should all come off, and then we can go to the next step. Okay, so we got that down, but the hood release is still going to be connected, and that light's there too. You can disconnect that if you want to, but it's not really necessary. You can kind of just keep it down on the floor just like that. Now, once you have all of that off, the steering wheel has tilt right there. So you want that down as low as possible, which it already is, but it's still not going to be enough space to get this out and around it. So what you got to do is underneath the steering column, up in there, right there, you can see there's 1 12mm bolt and 1 on the other side there as well. So you release those or loosen those off, drop them down, and then the whole steering column will drop down, which will allow to get the surround and the gauges out. So once you get them cracked, just loosen them off. It's not going to drop on your head or nothing too crazy. There you go. 1 out. Now let's see if we can get the other one here on the other side. Already cracked them loose. Oh, this one's still a bit tight. A little pressure on the steering wheel up might help. Alright. And there's the other one, just fell down. So, now with those 2 12mm bolts out, that drops down out of the way. And what you're going to do, So you're gonna take the one screw there, one screw there, and then you're gonna have to undo your plugs from either side. Should be 2 or 3 on that side and 2 or 3 on this side once you pop this out. So you just kind of gotta work it out of there a bit. There's these snap clips on the bottom here. So you just pop them out. Pop, pop. And you gotta be careful not to snap it like I did to get it out from the top here. So let me get on this. I need 2 hands and we'll carry on. Okay, got it dropped out. The wire's unplugged from behind it. And now with that dash and steering wheel down, that just pops out like that. While you're in here, if you want to do the sleepy eye mod to your 240, it's as simple as the wiring harness behind the headlight up and down. I'll pop this out and show you exactly what to do. Alright, so this is the headlight switch that makes them go up and down, but there's no start and stop to it, so you can't necessarily have them set where you want them. So right now, they are up. Plug this back into that wiring harness. All right, so it's plugged back in, and then snip the brown wire that's on the back of the harness, and that will allow you to click it and then click it again. So you just double click, and then you can get that sleepy eye mod. You just double click it and it'll set to where you want, and then once you have it unclicked, they'll just go all the way down like normal, and you can't re-click it to make them go up. But what you do is you just turn the headlights on and they pop up as they should. They go down as they should when twisting this. But if you have it clicked in, you turn them off, they'll stay up, and then from there, set them how you like. And that's it. Just snip that brown wire. That's going to be your easiest and cleanest way to have that sleepy eye mod done. So simple as that. Free hack. All it takes is a set of snips and you're good to go. But anyway, let's carry on with the dash. Now that we got that surround out, let's get the dash out and we'll show you what we're working with. Again, 3 screws to remove the actual cluster. You got one there, not those 10 mils, but the one beside it, the Phillips, and one up top there. Now that I got those screws out, just gotta work this out. Again, it's really tight and it gets stuck up in the top. Just kind of have to work it out slowly but surely. And just slowly come forward. And work it side to side. And she's out. So from the back side here, the bulbs that we got to replace that are going to make the difference are these big ones here and the ones in the corner as well. So you just pop that out and you swap out these little bulbs for some LEDs. So once you pull the bulb out, it's just a slot like that, and you take that and you stick it in the slot. It just pops in as so, and then you just twist this back into its home, and that's it. She's secured, and on to the next one. So this big one up here, that's the one that's already been swapped out, that you saw that changed the color of the dash before. So that one's good. This middle one here, clear bulb, pop that out, swap it out, pop it back in. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing, rip that one out, and so on and so forth. And this big one on the side too will work as well. So we'll get those swapped out and then you're into installation. All right, so now that we've got all 5 bulbs changed, all these warning light ones don't really matter. They're gonna be clear, and you kind of probably still want those to show up red or whatever color they will be on the corresponding side when it gives you that warning. But let's see how she looks. We got her swapped out, and we'll turn the lights on now. And just like that, freshly updated. Other than the fuel one and the battery, it's pretty well lit up. Not sure why those ones aren't, but could be one of these smaller bulbs again that shine down into there, because this one doesn't seem to really do anything. Pop that out. And that one ain't doing nothing. But for me, for the $5, $10, $20 that it was for those bulbs, and we still got a ton of leftovers, night and day difference, much more modern. So we'll get this back installed and this should be good. We're done just like that. Gauges are back in. 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 are back in. And then we're gonna put this back on, plug all your cables back in, and then screw these 2 screws, I believe, back in for this. Okay, got the dash surround back in with the 1, 2 screws there, and the clips under there just pop in, just like so. All the wires are plugged back in for that. Now we will stick the surround back on here, because that needs a lot of room. So before we put the column back up, it'll probably help us to have it down just like this. So we'll put that on, which is these pieces here. This is your top piece, and this is your bottom. So just slide that underneath and join them together with the 6 screws. So it kind of just snaps together at first, but then you gotta finish screwing it all together. On this side, you gotta try to line up that around the tilt column, and it's not wanting to stay snapped together very well on this side, but once we get some screws in there, it'll be fine. At least it's holding it there so we can get the screws in and cinch it all down. Well, got the steering wheel surround column cover back on. The one driver's side back bolt was just not lining up. It was giving me all sorts of troubles, but we got the 2 on either side done and the 2 underneath the center done that go up under here that hold it to the actual steering column so that it doesn't wobble around, and the other 4 hold the cover to itself. So now that that's done, we can lift the steering wheel back up into place and get those 2 bolts that hold the steering column up into the dash in, and then it's just that bottom panel and we're done. And just like that, she was done. She's all back together. Steering wheel's ridiculously high. There, now you can see it, the steering wheel down. She's all back together. Everything fit nice. And now, beautiful modern gauges. Now with the interior all back together, apart from what we're gonna be doing to it in the future, it's time to take this thing for a dyno tune now. So gonna load this thing up on a trailer and head there, but that'll be a future video. So we're gonna head to the dyno shop. But for now, hopefully this was helpful to you. If it was, you wanna do this, you can pretty much do this with any car. I'll put the link in the description below for the bulbs that you can use for this car anyway. For the 240, those are the bulbs that you can use. But just a quick Google search, you can probably figure out what you can use in your car. This isn't just a 240 only application. I'm sure you can upgrade many, many vehicles from the 90s or newer or even older with this simple hack. And just as a bonus, did the Sleepy Eye mod in this video as well. So if it was helpful to you, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and follow the build. See you next time. And yes, I know the lights in the dash aren't going to affect the dyno tune, but that's just where we're at in the build. But if you were following along, you would know that. This was just a little get through to the next video to show you how to do something that we're going to be doing and one of the steps that I'm doing to my car. So follow along. We're going to go see how much power this thing can make now that all the intercooler piping's done, the motor is fully built, all the turbo, everything is fully ready to go. So we're going to go swap out the ECU at the shop and throw it on the dyno after all the wiring's done.